Welcome to VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards, a daily podcast bringing you an inside look at the Vegas Golden Knights' 2023 Stanley Cup Playoff run. I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights on Tuesday, April 25th, and last night the VGK grabbed a commanding 3-1 series lead with their 4-2 win over the Winnipeg Jets in Game 4 from Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg. Now, it was a more complete effort for the VGK last night as they were able to maintain their lead late in the game, unlike in Game 3, and now they have a chance to finish off the Jets and win the series in Game 5 on Thursday back at T-Mobile Arena. Joining the show today is Ashali Vise, who will take you through the rest of the night and break down everything from the big Game 4 win.
Thanks, Justin. You know, they say time flies when you're having fun, and that has certainly been the case these last 4 days in Winnipeg as the Golden Knights jet out of town. Pun absolutely intended, with a 3-1 series lead. You have Brett Howden scoring not only his first playoff goal, but his first two. Of course, we will hear from him in just a bit, but you also have 3 consecutive playoff wins for Laurent Brossoit. The last 2 coming on the road in a building where he served as the backup to Connor Hellebuyck for 3 seasons. And the crowd here in Winnipeg has not gone easy on him. They just heckle and heckle. I'm not sure what you're able to make out when watching on TV or listening to the radio broadcast, but many of the chants consist of things like backup goalie or you're a backup. And, you know, I always wonder how much of those chants and that hollering the players can understand when they're on the ice. And Brossoit answered that for us after the game.
Did you hear the chants tonight, what they were saying, and your response?
Oh yeah, I could hear them. Honestly, it's just fuel. You know, it's when you have that many people, you know, chanting your name, and whether it's positive or negative, it's you know, it's fuel.
Obviously, a playoff win feels good regardless, but to come up here in your old building and get 2 wins, how good did it feel?
Feels great, especially, you know, a big swing game like the 4th game usually is, and you know, and just the fashion that we did it in. Everyone was playing well tonight, and all 4 lines were going, all deep pairings were going. We really didn't give them anything, and I know that, you know, they're dealing with some injuries, but I mean, we got we got a veteran group that didn't get complacent, and we took it to them.
How do you shake that goal off as weird as it was in the 3rd?
You know, I felt good all game, to be honest. You know, I felt like I was seeing the puck and moving well, and you know, it's easy to shake those ones off when there wasn't really an error involved.
Will, what was different tonight compared to last game? Just got a similar lead this time you got there.
Yeah, good question. You know, they got the early one, and they kind of feed off that energy. I think we were a little more cool this time around. You know, still trying to make plays, try to keep the puck within our team. You know, if we do that, you know, they can't score. So I think, yeah, we kept our heads a little bit cooler this time, I'd say.
So cool, the word of the game straight out of the mouth of William Karlsson, and how cool for Brett Howden to come back to Manitoba. He's just 30 minutes from his hometown of Oakbank, coming through with a 2-goal night.
Slow moving puck up the boards, kept alive by Pionk, now intercepted Stevenson. Coming out 3-on-2. Chandler hands it off. Howden on the left, pulls and shoots. Block, rebound, he scores! Brett Howden, first playoff goal, and the Knights have tied it 1-1. The Manitoba native gets the game even. Best plus-minus for the Knights in the series at +4. Going to improve on that here in his 7th career playoff game and his 4th with the Knights. His first shot, Gary, was stopped, but he followed right up and ripped the rebound by Hellebuyck to tie it up with 10:07 to go in the first period.
Brett's had an excellent series already, and this is perseverance and the willingness to shoot the puck on net.
Pionk keeps it in. Across to the far side. Wheeler down to the goal line. Hard centering pass too much. Schmidt swings and misses. Stone with the puck. Stone out. He's got Brett Howden. Howden into the zone. He shoots. He scores! Howden finishes it off. Second of the day. 4-2 Knights. 16 seconds to play. Brett Howden started the scoring with his first Stanley Cup Playoffs goal And it appears he will finish the scoring with his second Stanley Cup Playoffs goal. They come in Game 4 in his home province of Manitoba. Howden set up by Stone, flips it from the left wing circle into the empty cage. 4-2 Knights with 16 seconds to go.
We heard from him yesterday on VGK Today, but when you have a night like that, it earns you another appearance. So here's the conversation I had with him moments after the game ended. Brett, you told us that your brother made it in from overseas for Game 1. Who all was here to witness that performance?
Yeah, my family was here again. He was here, so it's pretty special. It's pretty cool to be able to play in front of them.
You talked about how it was just, a few years ago that you were part of the whiteout watching. How does it compare when you're the one kind of silencing the whiteout?
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you put it into words. I think the first game I had a little bit of jitters at the start of the game. Just pretty cool being able to play here in that atmosphere. I felt a lot more calm this game, and really happy we got the 2 wins.
Not only your first 2 playoff goals, but you're also now a +6 on the series. What part of your personal game are you most proud of thus far?
Yeah, well, I take a lot of pride in playing strong defensively. I think that's something I try to do every night, is try to be hard on their top players and shut them down. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't go your way. There's a lot of good players over there, so just happy to be able to help contribute where I can.
They score early in the third period. What does it say about this group that you didn't let history repeat itself and let them tie it up in the third?
Yeah, it was a pretty fluky goal, so we were pretty calm. It was a pretty unfortunate bounce, but I thought we stayed well. We stayed pushing hard. I thought we did a better job of attacking still and not sitting back compared to the game 3. So, credit to all the guys. I thought we did a good job to close them out.
You hear about the maturity and just that this is a veteran group. What have you learned from the veterans in the group?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is how calm and collective we are after a situation that doesn't go our way. Everybody on the bench is talking to each other, and there's no panic ever. No matter what the situation is, that just goes to show the leaders that we have in this group.
Most important question, are you going to be able to snag a puck to take home to Charlie?
Yeah, you know what? I just looked in my stall, and they saved the first playoff goal for me, and it's got Charlie's name on it, so it's pretty special.
That's what we like to hear, Brett. Congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Ash.
Justin, we just cannot get enough hearing about baby Charlie Rhodes Howden here on VGK Today. And it was well past his bedtime when we were leaving the rink. It was about midnight in Winnipeg when all of the press conferences finally wrapped up. And that's about the time that Gary walked out of Canada Life Center and hailed a cab. And we had a nice little chit-chat on the way back. Well, in the cab with Gary Lawless on the way back to the hotel after Game 4. Cash Cab. What's a good name for this? Gary Cab.
Ash Cab.
Ash Cab. I like it. Gary, your biggest takeaways after Game 4, the Golden Knights taking a 3-1 series lead?
Depth is starting to take over the series, and obviously Winnipeg. Now they're missing their best defenseman, Josh Morrissey. Tonight, their top goal scorer, Mark Scheifele, gets hurt really early in the game, and Bruce Cassidy's able to just keep rolling all 4 lines.
And we've relied on it for 82 games during the regular season too. Like this is not something we've built this on we talked about this at day 1, and we're going to have a 4th line that can help us win, be physical, manage pucks, forecheck, play in the penalty kill, hopefully, and be a line for us that we start and value. So you're going to have to play them to get that response, and we've done that. So, but there's days you want to throw all your eggs in one basket and go. So yes, there is a certain amount of discipline as a coach you have to live with, and I think our record allowed us to do that, Gary. If our record wasn't as good, maybe you would go that way, because you got to do what you got to do, right, in this business to have success. So the plan doesn't always work. It has for us in terms of how we've managed our 4 lines and 3D pairs for that matter. I think we've done a good job of not overextending anybody consistently. Of course, there's going to be times you do it, but in general, we've tried not to do that, and it builds trust, I think, in the group that, hey, I might have a bad shift, or maybe the last game I didn't get it done, but listen, we're going back to it. This is what's made it successful, and that's kind of the messaging that they, silently or vocally, that, all right, back to work, let's get it done.
You learn and you get better in the playoffs. The saying is, for every one playoff game, it's a growth of 2 regular season games. And so some of the younger players, think really starting to feel good about themselves and learn. And Mark Stone has only played 4 games now since returning from back surgery, and he looked really good late in the game tonight. So lots of positives. Laurent Brossoit has been the best goalie in the series. Flat out, the best goalie in the series.
Pressure there from Smith. Cannot keep it down in the corner. It's lifted out over White Cloud's stick. In comes Wheeler. Feeds Shifley down the middle. Stopped! Oh, a great right pad save. Shifley goes hard into the wall. Slow getting up. Still in the zone for the Jets. Racing over to the far boards. Passes left. Kept in by Schmidt. Stanley centered and a shot save. Kept in the zone. Out high. Schmidt to the right. A one-timer kicked away. Brossoit to his left stops Kyle Connor.
And that's not something we expected to say.
How surprising is that for everyone around the National Hockey League?
Well, outside of Vegas, I'm sure very surprising. It's funny, you know, we've gotten to know Laurent, and he's been pretty firm about what he thinks he can do since he had his hip surgery. And he's been tremendous ever since he came back. He's only got 1 regulation loss, and that was the first game of this series. He's been real good.
You talk about the mobility he has since coming back from that hip surgery and how he couldn't do the splits before. He's showing off. He's always in the splits around the rink, isn't he, these days?
I said to him one day, I said, were you doing the splits? And he said, in any other context, that would be an odd question. But he was doing the splits, that's for sure.
That sounds like the perfect note to end on. This was Ash Cab, and we are getting out of the cab thanks to Gary Lawless. And hopefully we will do this again sometime, but hopefully not in Winnipeg, because hopefully Vegas finishes this off in Game 5.
Well, look at that. Ash Cab, a spontaneous new segment here on VGK Today. I love that there, with Ashali Vise and Gary Lawless making a special guest appearance here on VGK Today as well. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of that in the coming series if the Golden Knights are able to advance, like Ashley said. Hopefully don't have to see that in Winnipeg again, with the VGK taking care of business in Game 5. But good stuff, as always, from Ashley there, especially that interview with Brett Howden. I love that at the end of the game, touching on Charlie a little bit. We've heard a lot about Charlie in the past few days, but he's been a big part of Brett Howden's life, and he's been a big storyline for the VGK here in the playoffs. And, of course, he gets that puck coming back to him here in Las Vegas. So looking forward to Brett being able to come back, the team being able to come back, and we'll see if they can clinch the series on Thursday in Game 5 at T-Mobile Arena. And with Game 5 back at T-Mobile Arena, I do want to remind you that Vegas Golden Knights single-game tickets to the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup Playoffs are still on sale. You can secure your seat in the Fortress for select home games in Round 1, or purchase a playoff strip and enjoy the same seats for every home game at a discounted rate. A limited number of tickets are still available now at VegasGoldenKnights.com, so be sure to grab yours and experience the Golden Knights live at T-Mobile Arena. And of course, with the VGK up 3-1 in their first round series right now, we're hoping Game 5 is the last home game of the first round. So be sure to get out there for Round 1 with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. Tickets still on sale at VegasGoldenKnights.com. Also want to take a second to remind you to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a moment of the team's quest for the Stanley Cup right here on VGK Today. Tomorrow, Dave Gosher is back on the show, and he'll talk you through everything on Wednesday as the Golden Knights prepare to take on the Winnipeg Jets in Game 5 of their first round series and looking to eliminate the Winnipeg Jets at home on Thursday. Justin Russo signing off for Episode 9 of VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards.